Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, spring is here and competition is in the air. The second annual Guardian Games are kicking off on April the 20th. The theme of the event returns, pitting the classes against each other in friendly competition to showcase their skills in combat. Last year, Titans dominated the field for nearly the entire event. Can Warlocks or Hunters bounce back and dethrone those gargantuan punching machines? Time will tell. If you're new to Guardian Games or need a quick refresher, this article is a great place to start. In today's TWAB, we'll get into some of the changes for this year's event. That's right, guys. For those that have not already checked out our video from earlier, we kind of just broke down everything from the trailer, including some of the rewards, although this TWAB does detail a lot of that as well, including how this year's competition is going to go. Now, Bungie states that last year we received a lot of feedback on how the overall scoring worked. You can read through this post for a refresher, but the TLDR is we had class-specific scoring weighted to account for the difference in class population. We did this to make sure that Hunters didn't have a huge advantage because, well, of how many Hunters there are. This year, we won't be doing any initial weighting on the scoring. Everyone's points will count the same at the start. So this is how the scoring will work this year. Medals have the following values: bronze, 1 point; silver, 2 points; gold, 5 points; platinum, 15 points. We still have to account for the different class populations. So this year, the class that comes in third place each day gets a permanent 10% bonus on scoring going forward. Wow! So essentially a catch-up mechanic. What the hell, Bungie? We've tested this new scoring system using last year's data and a few other data sets, and it seems to provide a more competitive Guardian Games where we see different classes winning throughout the event. Hunters will likely win early on because of their population advantage, but as bonuses kick in, the competition should tighten up quickly. All right, so this is what we asked for earlier. I like it to be mono a mono. I know Hunters outnumber us. I get it, but I do know something about Hunters. You guys never do bounties, all right? Just saying. Bungie could come out and be like, yo, do this one bounty and you automatically win the entire event. That Hunter would say nope and go right back in the Crucible. So yeah, you may outnumber us 2 to 1, 3 to 1. I don't know the ratio, but it doesn't matter if you don't participate. Now moving on to new Guardians game playlists. Another new addition to this year's event is the Guardian Game Strike playlist. This is like the standard Vanguard Strike playlist, but will group players together by their class. This feeds into the laurel collecting mechanic where players have a chance at bonus laurels when they pick up laurels generated by the player of the same class. Dude, that's actually awesome. This playlist is also going to come with modifiers. The new playlist will have gameplay modifiers added based on the previous day's class standing. Classes will get beneficial modifiers tied to gold, silver, and bronze placements. Gold, health, shields, and recovery are increased. Kinetic weapons deal more damage. Silver, melee abilities recharge faster. Elemental damage increase from Guardian sources. More heavy ammo is available. And for bronze, grenade abilities deal more damage and recharge much faster. Elemental damage increase from Guardian sources. Interesting, okay. So again, almost like a catch-up mechanic in some ways, depending on your placements. But Bungie continues, there's also negative modifiers added to the playlist to make things a little more challenging for their leaders. The gold class gets 2 modifiers. The silver class gets 1. These modifiers are themed around classes that finish lower on the podium. Interesting. So looking at the modifiers right here, Titans, Warlocks, and Hunters, you'll see that they're broken up between bronze and silver. And on the bronze side, combined melee attacks deal more damage. Incoming damage increase while airborne for Warlocks, and radar is disabled for Hunters. And on the silver side, combatants and their melee attacks deal significantly more damage. Incoming damage significantly increased while airborne. And then of course, radar is disabled and combatants don't flinch when damaged. Silver classes only get the modifier from the bronze class below them. Gold classes get a combination of both silver and bronze. So this is a double-edged sword, guys. For those that do place first the previous day, you will be equipped with one of these modifiers. So just to simplify things, if you won gold the previous day, the next day you'll have increased health, shields, and recovery, and your kinetic weapons will deal more damage. On the flip side though, the negative modifiers will apply to you, one being a silver negative modifier and the other being a bronze negative modifier. Now Bungie states thematically, we're going for an experience where the Guardian Game Strike playlist is the venue for players hoping to jockey their class's podium placement, as it would likely be one of the most efficient ways to earn laurels. Interesting. We've always had this issue. Where's the best place to do laurels, to grind for laurels? Bungie's just outright saying this strike playlist with these modifiers, that's the place to be. Surely strike related loot will be dropping. I still need to grind for a better roll third axiom, as well as a god roll royal entry. Moving on, the metal case. You will receive a metal case from Eva Levante to store your hardware until you are ready to visit the podium in the tower to bank them for your team. Once you have the maximum metals for a certain type in your case, make sure you go turn them in, as any more earned for that type will be lost. Turning in medals will give you a chance at receiving an event package depending on the medal type. You know what's interesting is, can you hold it? I'm assuming day to day. So we already know, like say for instance, one day hunters are absolutely dominating. They're at the top. There's no way we can make the comeback for that day. It may be just better to take the loss, save your medals for the next day. All right, that's it. We're starting a Discord channel, Titans Unite. I would let you know at 7 p.m. Eastern every single day if we need a pump or dump. If we can easily get the dub, we'll dump for that day. If not, keep pumping the medals. Moving on, the contender card. This year we are introducing a new way to earn points for your team called contender cards. You'll be able to pick these up from Eva in exchange for laurels and can have one active at any given time. Completing objectives in Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit will grant a gold medal upon completion, which again counts for 5 points. There's also special platinum contender cards that will focus on completing objectives in Nightfalls, Survival, as well as Trials. This will be the only way to earn platinum medals. Completing a platinum card will earn you all-star status and a special reward at the next podium ceremony. Make sure you complete your platinum contender card before daily reset on Friday if you want to lock in your all-star status for the weekend. Interesting. Okay. By the way, platinum actually accounts for 15. Now, as far as the podium ceremony, every weekend there will be a special ceremony where you will be able to show off a glow from your class item depending on your class standing that week. Third place takes the bronze glow. Second place takes the silver glow. First place takes the gold glow, and all-star receives a platinum glow. Interesting. Okay. We'll be throwing a special final weekend closing ceremony in the tower that will be live from May the 7th through the 11th to celebrate the winning class. Again, I like the competition. The more I read though, I am kind of getting concerned that there's almost like this participation reward thing with negative modifiers, etc. The weekend glows. We'll see how it plays out. At the end of the day though, I want a fair game, and essentially the best class takes all. Now, as far as rewards, as with any event, there will be new loot to grab. At the start of the event, you will get a new class item from Zavala. These are required to participate in the games. Your old class items won't work for this event, even though they still look cool. Super cool. These are some of our sexy guardians. By the way, someone mentioned earlier they don't like this look. I don't mind it, man. It's got like an Olympics vibe to it, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of ways we can customize it to get it how we want. There's also going to be a new exotic sparrow you can earn during the event. And of course, Heir Apparent is returning with the exotic catalyst, which we covered earlier. Essentially, the arc shield should get a buff, and when it pops, it will auto reload the machine gun. Now, speaking of the look of our armor for this event, look at this. Bungie states right here that there will also be new Eververse collectibles, including, but not limited to, a new Universal Ornament armor set. At Beyond Light's release, we said we would be working to make future Universal Ornament sets more accepting of shaders. New techs allow us to achieve this change more easily, and the Guardian game sets are a great example. Here's a peek at some of the offerings. Look at there, guys. You'll be able to take ornaments, and look at that. The Universal Ornaments, right? That too changes depending on your shader. Oh, that's sexy. Outside of that, guys, yes, we have a couple new ghosts, sparrows and ships, a tennis ball ghost, and of course, the jacket that we mentioned earlier. And this is actually the emblem. Upon completing the Master of All Triumph, which is the final seasonal challenge, you can redeem the free Thrill of the Chase emblem, which is pretty cool looking. I think I like this one more though. Essentially from Bungie Rewards, you will be able to access this free emblem upon completing a Guardian Games playlist strike during the event. I like them. Now, as far as future ornaments, last month we had a vote on which armor ornament set the community would like to see made for Festival of the Lost later this year. That kicked off Dino versus Monsters moment, and we want to do something similar for weapon ornaments. We've identified 12 weapons as candidates for your consideration. You can pick up to 3 that you would like to see have new ornaments created in the future. We're asking for your suggestions super early in development and plan on completing this early next year. Interesting, okay? These are your options: Crimson, Fighting Lion, Graviton Lance, Luminart, Merciless, Wrist Runner, Skyburner's Oath, Sunshot, Sweet Business, Telestial, Trinity Go, and Vigilance Wing. Look, I like them all. I like them all. But you know what really goes good with an ornament, Bungie? A buff. A buff. So I don't care which one of these is chosen, although I do like Telestial the most here. Whatever the case is, if you present a new ornament, that's good and all, but why not throw us a buff along the way, huh? Why not a Telestial buff? That's right. Hell, if anything on this list needs a buff though, really, Skyburner's Oath, man. That weapon needs some help. It needs something. A rework. It could be the sexiest ornament alive. But outside of cheese and proving grounds, there is absolutely no reason to use that scout. But feel free to go check out that link, guys. Take a vote. Pretty cool that Bungie's including us on that stuff. A few more things in today's TWAB, though. Dismantling your shaders. Beginning in Season 14, launching May the 11th, we are overhauling our shader system and how shaders can be applied to armor. Due to this overhaul, shaders will become permanent unlocks, and all shaders in player inventories will be removed. We encourage everyone to dismantle their shaders before Season 14 begins to ensure that you receive Glimmer as well as legendary shards. So if you've already discovered the shader, guys, delete them now. You can trust me. It's coming from the TWAB. But if you're like me and you got like 1,000 of some of our most common shaders, you probably just don't feel like breaking them all down. Now, a final note here from Cozmo. All right, Guardians, we want a good, clean competition. Remember, while it's fun to poke fun at other classes and enjoy partaking in friendly rivalry, at the end of the day, we are all on the same team. Let's keep it cordial and not be poor sports, win or lose. So to my fellow hunters, let's be very humble when we win the gold this year. Love, Cozmo. I'm coming for blood. I hope you know that, guys. I got my advanced GG. We are going to be heavily caffeinated starting next week, and we're going to stay in that playlist 24 hours a day, every single day from April the 20th through May the 11th. No, but for real, I don't recommend anyone doing that. Don't do it. It's bad for your health. I'm serious. Sleep is important. Try to get 7-8 hours every night, guys. I don't know what's going on in your life. 7-8 hours, please. Now, as a final little news bit that dropped today, and I just kind of wanted to throw this in here, Bungie is looking for developers for future games, and I'm assuming this is for Matter, although I'm just purely speculating at this point. But stated here from Destiny News Plus, feel free to check them out, by the way. Bungie's new unannounced IP franchise to feature competitive PvP multiplayer with esports landscape and mechanics that provide strategic depth and opportunities for counterplay, according to a new job listing. It also states that the person needs to be very familiar with competitive gaming as well as the esport landscaping. I don't know about you guys. I was not expecting this. I don't know if this is Matter or another game, but I was not expecting Bungie to dabble in an esport at this point. I mean, when was the last time they did that? Halo? Definitely wasn't Destiny, right? But from the responsibilities here, conceive of, build, and iterate on competitive multiplayer game mechanics that provide strategic depth and opportunities for counterplay. Now, a lot of people state that this was the same wording used for Destiny 2 positions before Destiny 2 launch. That's not really what I want to get hung up on, whether or not Bungie can even make a competitive shooter. Obviously, they've done it in the past. I'm just more surprised that this is what Bungie wants to do with their next IP. Like, to me, I thought they were going to go the opposite route and do a PvE only game, right? But it actually looks like they're going more PvP focused. Now, that doesn't mean that Bungie's going to jump up and just nuke Destiny 2's Crucible and get rid of our PvP. I don't think that's going to happen. But a couple of things that I am almost sure of. Number one, obviously from this posting, Bungie's next IP is looking to be a more PvP-centered game. And number two, I don't think this is going to deviate much from what they've done every single other game before, and that is a first-person shooter. Everything else is up for debate, though, whether or not it's actually going to be present in the sci-fi universe. Is it going to be fantasy-based? Is it going to be boots on the ground? I have no idea. But I'm almost sure it will be a first-person shooter. Either way it goes, though, 4 or 5 years, I mean, that's potentially when we might actually even get to play this game. What we do know for certain, though, is that Bungie's main team has doubled down on Destiny, which in the short term, and by short term, I mean for the next decade, that's a really good thing. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.